Article 356 and an activist judiciary. The AP High Court recent order is worrisome. It opens up possibility of judicial use or misuse of the Article 356. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place oblige it is to control itself, said James Madison. Judicial activism may be good as a rare exception, but an activist judiciary is neither good for the country nor for the judiciary itself, as it would encourage the government to appoint committed judges. Sometimes even the Collegium's recommendations on transfer of judges and chief justices today looks more like an executive order transferring IAS officers. The recent order of the Andhra Pradesh High Court directing the Andhra Pradesh government to come prepared to argue on the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state is shocking, as it opens up the possibility of use or even misuse of Article 356 by the judiciary. Though the Supreme Court of India has stayed the order, we need to go deeper into this observation and look at the controversial provisions of Article 356 because of which the High Court could make such an observation. The devil is in the provision itself. In behind the inclusion, no liberal democratic constitution in the world has a provision such as Article 356 that gives the central government the power to dismiss a democratically elected state government except the Constitution of the Pakistan. Both India and Pakistan borrowed this provision from the Government of India Act 1935. Interestingly, the leaders of our freedom struggle were so opposed to this provision that they forced the British government to suspend it. Thus, Section 93 of the Government of India Act 1935 was never brought into effect. The provision which we had opposed during our freedom struggle was incorporated in the Constitution, strangely in the name of the democracy, federalism and stability. On June 11, 1947, it was agreed in the Constituent Assembly that Governor could use this emergency power. By this time, the Governor was supposed to be elected by the people of the state rather than nominated by the centre. Govind Ballabh Pant did say that by mere elections, Governor will not become all wise. G.B. Pant, that is Govind Ballabh Pant, and Hridaynath Kunzru opposed it and termed it a virtual reproduction of 1935 Act, Government of India Act. H.N. Kunzru defied the whip and voted against it. Lakshmikant Maitra and Tanguturi Prakasham Pantulu said that Indian governors would not behave like British governors who acted as agents of the centre. Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer justified the provision in the name of representative government at the centre. Subsequent decades proved all of them wrong, both in respect of governors as well as the central government. What is the power of a word? After several revisions, provision became Article 278, now Article 356. H.V. Kamanth termed it as surgical operation for a mere cold. He criticized the word otherwise and said only God knows what otherwise means. As the governor had made a nominee of the centre by this time, he asked why President could not have confidence in his own nominees. He went on to say, if he cannot have the confidence in his own nominees, let us wind up this assembly and go home. Otherwise can include anything, including a presidential dream of breakdown of constitutional machinery in a state. Though Sibban Lal Saxena was happy about the parliament's power to ratify the president's rule in states, he did concede that this was a retrograde step and that we were reducing the autonomy of the states to a farce. P.S. Deshmukh too wavered deletion of the term otherwise. Naziruddin Ahmad said that I think we are drifting, perhaps unconsciously, towards dictatorship. Democracy will flourish only in a democratic atmosphere and undemocratic condition. In a strongly worded observation, he said the drafting committee had become a drifting committee, as it has gone against the original draft, otherwise can include anything, including a presidential dream of breakdown of constitutional machinery in a state. Andhra Pradesh High Court could pass such an order due to this very term otherwise, but for this word, which negates the ideals of the constitutionalism by giving unlimited powers to the centre. The High Court could not have overstepped the lines as it did, but this is not the first instance of judicial overreach on this issue. On August 13, 1997, a Patna High Court bench of Chief Justice Justice B.M. Lal and Justice S.K. Singh were disapproving the functioning of the Rabri Devi government, had observed that Governor's report was not conclusive regarding the invocation of Article 356, and the High Court could also report to the President about the breakdown of the constitutional machinery in the state. Article 356 had been used or misused more than 125 times, though Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had assured that it would remain a dead letter. Both on Article 356 and the Governor, experience has proven Ambedkar wrong. In almost all cases, it has used for a political considerations rather than a genuine breakdown of constitutional machinery in the states. All the presidents signed presidential proclamations without demur except K.R. Narayan, who twice had written the cabinet's recommendations on October 22, 1997, in respect of Kalyan Singh government in Uttar Pradesh, which had just won the controversial confidence vote, and stating that imposition of president's rule would be constitutional impropriety. He also returned the Cabinet's recommendations on September 25, 1998 in respect of Rabri Devi government in Bihar, and in an unprecedented detailed note he rebutted all the changes made by the Governor Sundar Singh Bandari, inflicting more wounds. What do it means? In a very first invocation of Article 356 in 1951, Jawaharlal Nehru removed the Gopi Chand Bhargavia ministry in Punjab, though he enjoyed the majority. In 1959, it was used against the majority opposition government of E.M.S. Namboodiripad government in Kerala, and Governor B. Ramakrishna Rao in his report argued that government has lost support overwhelming majority of the people, and belittled the fact of it enjoying the confidence of the House, which he said was an important consideration at the time of the formation of the government, not its continuance. Indira Gandhi had a dubious distinction of using Article 356 as many as 27 times, and in most cases to remove the majority governments on the ground of political stability, absence of clear mandate, or withdrawal of support, etc. She did not spare even chief ministers of her own party, but the Janata government did worse than Mr. Gandhi by removing the 9 majority Congress governments in one stroke on April 30, 1977. The Supreme Court of India upheld it by in State of Rajasthan versus Union of India 1977 case. Mr. Gandhi replied in the same currency on her return to the power in 1980 by removing 9 opposition majority governments at one go. Subsequent governments too acted in similar fashion, including the Narendra Modi government, which invoked Article 356 in Arunachal Pradesh on Republic Day itself in 2016. The most notable case of non-use of Article 356 was refusal of P.V. Narasimha Rao government prior to the demolition of Babri Masjid on December 6, 1992. As in the draft constitution, emergency power could be used to safeguard the legitimate interest of the minorities, and the government was fully aware of the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the Uttar Pradesh. However, the subsequent dismissal of the 3 Bharatiya Janata Party governments in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Himachal Pradesh, though upheld by the Supreme Court in S.R. Bommai versus Union of India 1994 case, was wrong, as the Rashtriya Samayasik Singh Sangh ban was better implemented in these states, and much greater violence has taken place in the Congress-ruled states of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Today, when many constitutional experts are of the view that judiciary is increasingly becoming more executive-minded than the executive itself, and the observations of the Andhra Pradesh High Court are a worrisome sign, ideally the word otherwise should be deleted from the Article 356, and the provision be used only sparingly, and to never remove a majority government. Faizan Mustafa is a Vice Chancellor, the National Academy of Legal Studies and Research, Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. The views are expressed as a personal but not in intentional.